Welcome to Charts Today, and today's edition for Wednesday, the 16th of November, comes to you from London. And I'm running on the DTNIQ feed here today. Updata, of course, runs on multiple data platforms, so I'm just looking at the charts. We start with the dollar index, the same as always. Long-term charts here, the weekly and 1% point and figure log. 0.5% log and daily chart. This is our medium term, and then the short term down the bottom here. So we start with the long-term picture, and we see here the dollar index now above 100, really holding that level now. So really significant that the dollar is just holding that strength, and we're seeing this upside potential. So dollar index is definitely moving above the cloud here. And we are in bullish mode. So still dollar bullish, which of course in turn means euro bearish, and we see here this 107 level. We're really nudging this now at the moment. So just really below the cloud, making new lows, downside targets to 101, target given back in June, and another one just given last week. Really just now shows the euro weakness, and this is a chart to keep an eye on today. If we take a look at Japanese yen, we see here how the yen is falling quite strongly against the dollar. This is a real proxy for dollar strength. We see here that the dollar has fallen quite significantly against the yen over the last year or so, but really just recovering very strongly over the last few weeks. So we're seeing that medium-term strength after crossing the cloud in September, and we're seeing that same short-term strength here. And we're seeing here at the moment dollar yen potential of 3% upside, 4% on the medium term. So that dollar strength still really showing through. We look at sterling. Sterling had a little bit of a flurry after the US election, and we're just sitting at around this 125 level at the moment. So again, that's quite significant. 124.70 at the moment. So just hitting resistance again there. Downside target back to 121.28 now activated. If we take a look at some other currencies, if we look at the Swiss, we're seeing sterling just recovering against the Swiss, maybe just coming through on the cloud on the price. And if we look at against the Australian dollar, we say that recovery as well from the low 160s through to the mid 160s. So we have seen a recovery there. If we look at the S&P 500 index, we see here we're just really struggling with just this 2180. We closed on resistance last night. That's the level that really the market is trying to break. If we break this 2200 level, we activate a new upside target of 2592, so let's say 2600. We've got another one at 2700 and 2780, so a lot of upside to play for the market. S&P looking quite strong there. If we look at the more the tech-laden Nasdaq 100, we see here that it hasn't been as strong, but that's just now starting to come through into short-term bullish. We've got more work to do to be breaking this resistance level about 4,900. A lot of upside targets here as well. Downside targets on the short-term chart, one, but it's really a mixed picture. And it looks like this market is going to recover medium and long term. If we look into the futures this morning, futures are down very, very slightly. Looking at the E-mini on the Nasdaq, we're just really just teetering along. So market is just a little bit uncertain. If we take a look at FTSE, FTSE 100 index is down very slightly this morning. 6784 is the level we're at the moment. Just really struggling to get back above this cloud, but we do have short-term upside targets here. Again, medium-term upside targets to play for. Downside one not activated here, and long-term bullish. We've still got targets of 21 and 33% upside. So FTSE still looks okay, and the same with the FTSE 250. We are just through on the cloud here, looking a little bit stronger at the moment. Looking at the DAX, much the same picture. We're above the cloud here, looking bullish. Above on the daily as well, and on the weekly we're just crossing through to long-term bullish. So German market starting to look a little bit better too. Hang Seng, Nikkei market last night was up again, and we're just holding that the levels that we've seen. Still bearish on this long-term chart until we can get through this resistance level of about 18,000, but at the moment it's a recovery. And if we look at the Hang Seng, much the same picture as well. We do have quite a few downside targets, and we are just crossing below the cloud here on the daily chart. Taking a look at commodities, we go to Brent crude. Brent had a bit of a run yesterday, but falling back again this morning. We're at 46.66 at the moment. We're below the cloud both on the weekly and the daily. 60-minute has recovered a little bit, but no clear upside targets on the short term to play for. And if we look at WTI on the Nymex Exchange, much the same picture here. We do have this medium-term downside target of $32.50. That's 28% downside. That is activated, and we know at this time of year we do tend to fall. So bearish long-term, bearish medium-term. Short-term has made a bullish cross, but we're just pulling back from that this morning. Keep an eye on the 1-minute charts if you're tracking that. Nat gas, US nat gas, we see here we're below on the cloud on the long and medium term charts. We do have a little fall away here last night, back from 280 to 270. That's given us a downside target. If we fall any lower, so 268, 267, then we start to activate that to 247 downside. If we take a look at corn, corn has a couple of short-term downside targets just crossing through on the cloud though. But still pretty bearish picture on most charts there. And if we take a look at coffee, coffee has been a strong performer of late, but just pulled back through the cloud, this lower high, lower low scenario, back into bearish mode on the short-term chart. Just still got some pretty big upside targets on the long and medium term charts. Taking a look at gold, gold's had a bit of a rough ride these last few days. It's certainly fallen away to this low 1200s level. So this is silver, actually, gold here. So we're seeing here that we are just falling away here, but the long-term cross is still in place. So pretty key there. And then if we look at silver, we see here again we're below the cloud as well. Taking a look at 10-year bonds, we're just through on this weekly, just starting to take a long-term recovery here into the high sort of 220s here is really where we're seeing. We're 222 at the moment, but this new upside target's 236, 228 was given quite a while ago, and we now look like we're meeting that. Last of all, look at some bellwethers, Nasdaq stocks below the cloud here, and we just see again we're below the cloud on most Nasdaq stocks. So we are just seeing a bit of a recovery, but still pretty bearish. Take a look at stocks like Facebook below the cloud. Try to put in a recovery here, but just again looking a little bit dicey there below the daily cloud, but waiting for a recovery. Microsoft, much the same picture, waiting for a recovery there. So the big story at the moment is dollar strength. Keep an eye on those charts. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.